Hey beautiful, welcome to another quick little video from the beauty pageant revolution. I actually just got back from competing on the international stage of Mrs. World, and I wanted to share with you a few tips when it comes to the mental game of pageant week. Now, if you are preparing for a competition at the highest level, whether it is a national stage or an international stage or even in your state, this is the game changer, because how you show up for pageant week or pageant weekend is going to determine your mental state and the way that your body communicates with the judges. Now, the preparation that leads up to pageant week is going to be obviously important, but what I really want to talk about this episode is the mental game of pageant week. Now, when it comes to pageant week, it can be very, very easy to slip into comparison. Especially for us as women, we already do this way too much. We scroll through social media, we see everybody else's highlight reels, we see us in our sweatpants or in our hot messness of what it means to whether it's be a mom or be busy or to just be in life. And so for us as women, it's really, really easy to step into or fall into comparison. And this is where it's the, oh, she's doing this or I'm not doing that, or whether we feel like we're not enough or we haven't, her dress is more than mine, or she has a makeup artist and I don't, all of this different stuff. And so when it comes to comparison, a way that you can combat that is to make sure that you show up as the best version of yourself for pageant week or pageant weekend. Now, this comes in the preparation, obviously, leading up to the competition. And when it comes to competition, the woman that you look at in the mirror every single day and the voices that you hear in your head every single day are your biggest competition. Yes, of course, it's a competition with women standing up on stage together and talking with judges and sharing our stories and our mission. But when it really comes to the competition, the woman that you look at in the mirror, not only leading up to pageant week, but especially during pageant week, is your biggest competition. So whatever wardrobe you show up with, you better own it and love it. And it better be the best version of you, and it better highlight your best features. Whatever, if you show up with a makeup artist or no makeup artist, or someone that does your hair or someone that doesn't do your hair, you better be firm in the belief that how you are presenting yourself during pageant week to the ladies, to the judges, to the staff, to every single person that you encounter is the best version of you. So how you can do that is one of my favorite things, and it's on my blog, and I actually offer a free energy profile for this, as well as a discount code for the entire course. But it's a online fashion course, and it talks about how for you and for your personality and the features that God has given you, how you can show up with the best clothes that match who you are on the inside. Because there are actually textiles and fabrics and cuts and colors and things that work for you and for who you are and the message that you want to get across, compared to maybe just seeing something online. So that could be a gown or an interview outfit or the popular hit or miss, and oh, it's a hit, so I think I'm just gonna buy the same thing, right? But that might not be the right thing that best highlights you and who you are on the inside. So make sure to visit the blog at thebeautypageantrevolution.com. This one's called The Package That Matches Its Contents, where you can get the free energy profile to figure out your energy type, and then you can take the test for the fashion tips, so that you know what fabrics and colors and textiles and all that stuff best fit you. The next one for pageant week, the next tip that I have is to stay away from chaos. So whether this is drama, whether this is gossip, whether this is even backstage, I don't know what it is, but there's something that happens when it is showtime, and no matter how much practice has gone on, no matter how much some people have nailed, whether it's the dance routine or the walking routine or whatever side of the stage you're coming in on or whatever contestant number you are, it it can be very, very easy that when our adrenaline kicks in, what actually happens is that our body goes into fight or flight mode. And with that fight or flight mode, what we naturally tend to do is just go into survival mode. And what's my number and what side am I on, and it can turn into this mass chaos behind stage, and you're changing and what outfits and what order is the show in and what's going on. And so even while I was just competing, what I found was that there were, and I love every single woman that I competed with, there were women that couldn't remember their numbers, or they couldn't remember what side they were on. And it's very easy, especially as women, we want to help others, right? We love to serve, we love to give, we love to help others. And it can be really easy to say, oh, well, I'm number this, so you should be in number this, and you should be on that side, and blah, 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 blah. And I want to say, find that point for you where you step in and you're able to help. But when it starts to become chaos and a mental game for you and it throws you off of your game, then that's when it's time to step away from the chaos. I also want to encourage you to stay away from gossip. It can be very, very easy to get sucked into the drama and the gossip that can go on when a bunch of women come together. And to be in integrity with who you are and how you want to show up with, stay away from gossip. When someone starts to talk about somebody else or what it is that they're doing, I even had to do this during this last competition that I was just in. I just moved away and just backed up, and I just even if, oh, hey, I'm gonna go over here and look at this. Like, I just removed myself from the situation. So make sure that you remove yourself from gossip and be intentional that you are not doing the same thing. So whether that is talking about another contestant, or if your words are not giving life and speaking life and positivity about someone, even if they were standing next, like if you were not going to say what you were going to say to them in front of you, then don't say it to anybody else. And like I said, it can be easy to get sucked into the chaos and into the scrambling of the show and into backstage. So make sure that you're conscious and that you're aware that if someone does need a little bit more clarity when it comes to their position or their side on stage, or what it comes next in the show, offer the support that you feel like you can offer. But when it starts to throw you off in your mental game, then it's time for you to step away. And that's just honoring you and who you are, and your capacity to show up as the best version of yourself. Number 3, you will be tired. Now, when we get tired, it can be very, very easy, especially when we're running on little sleep. Most pageants, especially high-level pageants, they're a week to 10 days to 2 weeks long, and it is go, 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 a million miles an hour from the moment that your plane lands. You might get picked up from the airport. You're in a room with a bunch of dresses in a small closet, and trying to figure out, this flow between you and your roommate, and who likes to sleep in the hot temperature and who likes to sleep in the cold temperature, and who's sharing the mirror, and all of this different stuff. And then you are functioning on little sleep, right? Because you're probably doing, whether it's appearances or practices or whatever that might be, late into the night. And then you're waking up early to get ready for an early photo shoot or an early appearance or an early event. And so you're up. I know for us, in this past competition that I was just in, most of us were functioning on 3, 4, maybe 5 hours of sleep. And when that happens, it's very, very easy to start to fall apart. And this is where under the pressure, what is underneath starts to come to the surface. So what you'll typically find in pageant week, this is kind of and if you look at the flow and if you kind of take a step back and look at things objectively, the first couple days, everyone's on their best behavior. Everyone is so nice and kind. Day 3 or 4, people's colors start to come out, and you start to see how they handle the pressure, or how they handle the drama, or if they just want to be home, or if they just are ready to go home, or if they start to bury themselves in their phone a lot more and start to withdraw, and if they're not engaging, if they are their confidence starts to go down, they start to fall into the comparison, they start to fall into the gossip, they start to fall into the different things that lie under the surface of our best behavior. And this is going to come out in the pressure. So if you think about, even making wine, right? The juice comes out in the pressure, but along with the juice, and I like wine, I like to have a glass of wine. So when the winemaker is making the wine, that's where the juiciness comes out, and that's when the goodness of who you are is gonna come out in the pressure, but there's also going to be some of the sediment, some of the junk. And so I want to encourage you to work through some of that stuff beforehand. Put yourself in intentional situations that are going to cause you to be under pressure. So that might mean going and meeting a lot of new people all at once, or sharing your story, or going to new, whether it's fitness classes that push you beyond what you've been pushed before. And then you can start to pay attention to what goes on in here. If you want to start to give up, or maybe you want to start to talk poorly about something, or you start to tear yourself down. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I'm not worthy enough. Maybe there's some shame that goes on underneath. And so if you can put yourself into intentional pressure cooker situations beforehand, and even be tired, even like go to bed late and wake up early for a week straight, and see what starts to happen, and see what starts to bubble up in the surface of who you are, how you treat your kids, how you treat your friends, how you treat your husband, because then those are things that you know you're going to need to work on beforehand, and those are things that you can be mindful of when it comes to pageant week. So just a few different tips when it comes to when you are tired, is working on that stamina beforehand. Start to know the issues that are going to come to the surface for you, and be mindful of that during pageant week. But this is where then the confidence of who you are and the way that God made you and your message comes into play. I know for me, a big thing for me was confidence. Did I deserve to be there? Was I not the best version of myself when I stood there on that stage? Or when I got there, am I wearing the same outfit as somebody else? Do we have the same color dress? How does all of that work? And am I getting called into the finalists, which I did, and I'm so grateful for. And I was in the top finalists in the top 6, which was really, really exciting, and I am so honored to have done that. But there were moments where even on stage, or even during practice, I started to feel self-conscious. And so I worked on actually some of the different techniques when it comes to anchoring and the belief in who I am and the message that I have, that are actually found in my course at the Beauty Pageant Revolution under the Classroom tab. But these things really, really helped my confidence. It helped my body posturing and my body language, because actually 93% of communication, whether it's from stage or in your interview to the judges, or even your interactions with the ladies, 93% of that is actually your body language, and it's only 7% of the words that you say. So that's a big thing, to make sure that are really anchored in who you are, in the message that God has given you, in your purpose being there, and that you're showing up as the best version of yourself. And if you need help with that, like I said, we go over a lot of different key step-by-step techniques in my course at thebeautypageantrevolution.com. What's on the inside will come out, so make sure that you have processed through that stuff beforehand, so that you can show up as the best version of yourself. And then take time for yourself. This is where it's honoring you, your journey, who you are, and knowing yourself. So for me, yes, I love people and I love being in front of people, but I actually refuel very introvertedly. So I needed to take time, even if that meant that my alarm went off at 4 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. so that I could take some time, do a few yoga poses, so that I could read a little bit, so that I could meditate, so that I could fuel myself, so that I could continue to give out during the day. So take time for yourself, know what refuels you, and honor yourself. There were even times where for me, during, whether it was during practice, we had a bathroom break, I would just go in the bathroom and sit in the stall and just come back to my center, do some of my meditation practice that I utilize not only in my preparation, but it's in my course. I did some of my anchoring that I did, some of what's called EFT, so it's tapping to help your body understand that it's okay to feel this way, but you don't have to believe that. Again, that's in my course. But taking time for yourself and knowing what is going to refuel you, even in small moments. So those are my tips for you to stay mentally strong during the game of what we all love as pageant week. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you're finding value in this, please leave a review, share this with someone, and again, make sure that you check out the blog at the Beauty beautypageantrevolution.com, because it is my intention to help empower you to grow into the best version of yourself, because I believe that pageantry is an incredible platform for women to not only grow into the best version of themselves, but to really get their message out and get their message across to the world, because your message is needed for just a time as this. Bye-bye.